Was there an election recently? I think so, yes. Congratulations on your re-election, Governor. As many of you know, Governor Mary Fallin is the first woman to be elected governor of Oklahoma. Prior to her historic election in 2010, Fallin represented the people of Oklahoma in a number of state and federal positions. She served 2 terms as a state representative before becoming Oklahoma's first Republican and first woman lieutenant governor in 1995. Since taking office in 2011, Oklahoma has consistently ranked among the top states for job creation. In addition, the governor has signed into historic law lawsuit reform and a complete overhaul of the state's workers' compensation system, eliminating frivolous lawsuits that hinder business growth and retention. Governor Fallin has also signed bills to modernize and streamline government operations, responsibly cut the income tax, increase compensation for public employees, and address the state's fiscally unstable pension system. At the governor's discretion, the state has appropriated more than $154 million in the past 2 years for K-12 education, allowing more money into the classroom and a boost to student performance. In addition to her statewide education initiatives, Governor Fallin has led a nationwide dialogue among state legislators and governors through her past chairmanship of the National Governors Association to better align education and workforce needs of the 21st century, called America Works, Education and Training for Tomorrow's Jobs. The governor is a graduate of Oklahoma State University. She is married to Wade Christensen, Oklahoma's first gentleman. The couple, first gentleman actually. The couple has 6 children between them. Please join me in welcoming our governor of the great state of Oklahoma, Mary Fallin.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I appreciate a very kind introduction. Please keep eating. It's not a good thing when a speaker and a politician stand between you and your meal. So please keep eating. Hope you enjoy that. Aaron, thank you so much for all your work on the Quality Boards Foundation and emceeing this event and helping put together another wonderful opportunity for us to come together and recognize and highlight the great successes of our Oklahoma companies and organizations across the state of Oklahoma. We know that you're very busy with all your different activities, but we appreciate your service. And to our board chairman, Dave Smith, thank you so much for all that you've been doing with your board. And I know that you've had team leaders, you've had judges, you've had people looking at all the different businesses and their plans and deciding who receives these awards. And so we appreciate the board, and certainly Heather Griswold, we appreciate all that you do with the foundation too and your leadership with that. And just thank you all for coming to this luncheon today, all of our representatives of the business community and certainly different organizations that have joined us here today. I appreciate certainly the partnership that the Quality Awards Foundation and the board and this organization has, but also the cooperation that we have with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce and Secretary Carmen, who is here today, and the Business Roundtable with Carl Edwards, who is their director also. So it's a great partnership between organizations to focus on business, our economy, and what we can do to create even stronger, vibrant businesses in our state. So today's program, and you have so many great recipients that are here today and lots of great competition, but one of my top goals as governor of the state of Oklahoma is to make sure that our business community has a competitive, cutting-edge ability to be able to compete not only among our state, but with other states and other nations. And we have the very best quality companies, very best quality practices, that we have strategy, that we have plans, that we have leadership development, that we measure what we expect. One of my favorite sayings is that if you don't know where you're going, any road's going to get you there, and you have to inspect what you expect out of your performance. That's one of the things I keep emphasizing and stressing to our cabinet secretaries, is that we're all about performance. We're all about setting goals. We're all about meeting those measurements and what is the plan to get there, and how are we going to get there, and where's our strengths, where's our weaknesses, and our opportunities, and our threats within our different organizations. And that's what these quality awards and their program is about itself. It's about taking the best ideas that we have in our state, the best things that are being implemented in your companies and your organizations represented in this room, so that we can help Oklahoma keep on that cutting edge of competition, so that we can continue to grow Oklahoma's economy, can continue to give our families and our citizens the best quality of life, and to continue to make Oklahoma a great place to live, work, invest, and raise a family. That's the end goal. It's pretty simple. But that takes strong, prosperous companies that focus on quality, that focus on their performance and their productivity, and have a plan of action to do that. And today we're going to be recognizing our innovators across our state, sharing best practices, listening to some great ideas, certainly measuring those accomplishments. And I appreciate all that the foundation does to put together the executive sessions. I've seen your agenda for the morning and your different topics and speakers, and your speaker at noon itself. But to focus on building leadership, how do you measure the data? How do you measure that success? How do you strategically plan within your companies? How do you look at your operations to make sure that everything's running the way it should be? That's all part of how we keep Oklahoma on its A game. It's A game. We always want to be on our very best game as a state, certainly within our private sector and our business community, so we can keep our economy on the right track, so we can all be successful and be competitive as a state and be more prosperous as a state. And so I'm thrilled today to be here to stand up as we give out these awards today to all the great recipients. It's always a lot of fun. It's encouraging to hear the great success stories that we're going to hear in just a few moments. So I want to just congratulate all of our great companies, organizations that are represented here today. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for going through the process, being a part of this foundation itself, and for the wonderful awards that we're going to be giving. And in the meantime, at the state capitol, I'm going to be doing everything I can to work with our cabinet secretaries, our legislators, to make sure that we keep the very best business climate possible, and to make sure that in state government that we're customer focused also, because you are our customers. You're the taxpayers. You're the ones that we work for, and you deserve quality service too at the state government. And so we're excited to be able to lead that effort too. So thank you all. Congratulations to you. And I think we're going to hear some great, amazing stories right now as we give out these awards. Aaron, thank you.
One thing I will point out, you heard in the governor's remarks, and we've heard this throughout our sessions today, that partnership is really what drives success. There's an African proverb that I love that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think our governor's been a shining example of that. This is the time in our program where we recognize those organizations that understand the value and have made the commitment to performance excellence. We are recognizing 5 organizations today that make Oklahoma proud. As I call their name, I'd like for the recipients to come forward while I provide our audience with some information about them. Our first recipient is Syntec Corporation. Syntec will receive recognition for their participation with the Journey to Excellence Award. This is the first year Syntec has taken part in the Oklahoma Quality Award process. Please help me welcome John Carnuccio, President and Chief Operating Officer of Syntec, to the stage. Founded in 2001, Syntec manufactures high-quality centralizers and stock collars for the oil and gas industry. Their Oklahoma City facility opened in July of 2012 and is an expansion of their business base in the United Kingdom. Their local operation was created to provide product to North America and drilling operations. Syntec has experienced increased growth and expanded to multiple shifts and additional production lines since its opening. During the initial development of the operating environment, it was decided to design the relationships of the business around safety, quality, availability, and reliability. These items of focus are crucial to all aspects of their operation. Syntec continues to gain market share in the drilling and completion markets of the oil and gas industry. Their market share demonstrates an upward growth trend to 6% of the total North American centralizer market within just 2 years of their startup. Centec is committed to using the feedback from the Oklahoma Quality Awards process to help further identify opportunities for improvement within their operation. With the mission of achieving greater than 50% share of their target market by 2018, Centec is aggressively pursuing quality standards and achievements to help reach their goal. John has commented that the feedback we receive from going through the process is most important because it provides validation of our culture and helps us improve. The award itself is important because it provides recognition for our people and their commitment to excellence. John, congratulations.
Well, as you heard, Centec here in Oklahoma City, we've been together in operation about 2.5 years. We had the great honor and pleasure to have Governor Fallon at our grand opening when we started our operations, and it was a big plus for our people and their families to have the governor there. Since then, as you heard, we've been a growth story. We're quite proud of. We're up to about $25 million in revenue right now and 90 employees. And that's what I wanted to talk about here this afternoon, was those 90 employees. We have a great team at Centec. When we started up, the ideal of a people-centric organization was at the heart of everything that we did. We firmly believe if you hire the best of the best, you give them the support they need to succeed and then get out of their way, then they will exceed your wildest dreams, and our folks have done just that. And when we decided to go on this journey to achieve the Oklahoma Quality Award and ultimately the Malcolm Baldridge Award, it was obviously to help us as an organization grow and improve and continue to excel and achieve the levels of excellence as we go, but also as validation and recognition for our people and their dedication to excellence. We wouldn't be here today without their contribution in a big way. And we are very appreciative of the help of the Oklahoma Quality Foundation and the guidance and the recognition today that we're receiving. And we look forward to the journey ahead and hope to be back here next year. So on behalf of the 90 wonderful people at Centec, thank you very much.
Our next award winner is the Tulsa City County Library, receiving the Oklahoma Quality Award for Pursuit of Excellence. This is the first year the library has taken part in the Oklahoma Quality Award process. Please help me welcome to the stage Charlotte Frazier, Deputy Director of the Tulsa City County Library. The Tulsa City County Library is a major metropolitan public library system that has expanded to include the Central Library in downtown Tulsa, 4 regional libraries, 8 Community Plus libraries, 11 community libraries, community outreach and literacy services, a support services center, 385 employees, and $27 million operating budget. In 1998, a key decision in response to the growth of the internet and next-generation computer systems brought the library online. This major decision was a turning point for the system's future implementation of services. The library's relationships with partners, suppliers, and stakeholders have continued to expand and change rapidly with advances in 21st century technology. In less than 8 weeks, library staff implemented the library mobile app, requiring a responsive supplier for the product implementation, staff preparation for training, and marketing strategies to promote the app. This project created access to the library's customers on the go. The organization's main service offerings are reading, listening, and viewing materials for information or entertainment, homework help, either online or tutoring in person, reader's advisory, this is where customers may reach library staff by phone, instant message, email, text message, web form, mail, or in person to inquire about reading selections, and the Book Mobile, which serves areas out of reach of access to library services at weekly scheduled locations throughout Tulsa County. The library has what they call a big, audacious goal, that the library will be the most valued asset in Tulsa County. They are well on their way to achieving that goal. The library CEO, Gary Schaefer, remarks that every organization should always be improving. Its stakeholders and stockholders should demand it. At the Tulsa City County Library, we see the Oklahoma Quality Award Foundation's award program as providing us a measurable, actionable method for us to continuously improve, one that is validated by organizations nationwide. While this is the first year we participated in the OQA process, my colleagues and I have been engaged in volume-based continuous improvement and triple bottom line sustainability efforts for over 3 years. The Tulsa City County Library Commission and the library leadership team we are very proud of this accomplishment. Charlotte, congratulations.
Thank you. Tulsa City County Library is honored to receive this award, and we are just extremely excited about it. I am privileged to receive this award on behalf of our CEO, Gary Schaefer. He is representing Tulsa and our sister city, Kaohsiung, Taiwan, at the opening of their new central library. I would like to thank our state librarian, Susan McVeigh of the Oklahoma Department of Libraries, for being here and celebrating with us. You may be asking, what does a library have to gain by following the Baldridge journey? Our library knows the importance of establishing 21st century best practices and processes. The Baldridge tradition gives us a successful framework so that we can preserve our strong foundation while moving forward and being future focused. We see the Oklahoma Quality Award Foundation's program as measurable, actionable feedback for continuous improvement. I'd like for each of you in this room to imagine what a library is to you. It may be a memory of a library you visited at age 12, or perhaps an image of Marion the librarian in the Music Man. Now, picture a 21st century library very different from your memory. One that is sustainable, meets the opportunities and challenges of today's high-tech world, and exceeds the vision of becoming a most valued community asset by aligning with the Baldridge criteria. Our mission is Libraries Change Lives. And to realize our mission, vision, and values, we choose to follow the imperative for establishing quality process and best practices, and for creating partnerships with our communities. Tulsa City County Library is committed to the pursuit of excellence. As a Baldridge organization, we know that we can achieve the benefits of an innovative, effective organization for our Tulsa County citizens and become a national benchmark for the libraries of the future. We look forward to continuing our journey with the Oklahoma Quality Award Program. Thank you.
Our next award recipient is Southern Oklahoma Technology Center, receiving the Foundation of Excellence Award. SOCT has been involved with the Oklahoma Quality Awards for several years and continues its journey towards performance excellence. We are delighted to have them as an award recipient this year. Since 1966, SOTC has provided quality service to its customers with exceptional adult education and training. SOTC offers state-of-the-art equipment, modern classrooms, and highly qualified instructors. The school serves 13 school districts and 3 dependent school districts in southern Oklahoma and offers 68 majors in 9 career clusters. Its business and industry services classes provide quality organizational development and technical training to businesses, and its adult career development services provide courses designed for adults desiring to update or develop new career skills. Workforce capacity and development is a strong suit for the school. SOTC provides competitive salary and benefits to its employees, actively engaging employees in strategic planning, deployment, learning, and change processes, as well as offering opportunities for individual training, education, and development. SOTC is also dedicated to continuous investment in its students. Over the past several years, SOTC has consistently met or exceeded the state average of cost per student enrolled in its programs. This investment gives the patrons of Southern Oklahoma an advantage because they are afforded the opportunity to obtain hands-on experience while working on the most cutting-edge equipment and technology available. SOTC's key education program and service strategic challenge is to create, innovate, and improve program offerings that are at the core of growth for Southern Oklahoma. This organization is devoted to performance excellence, not only for its students, but for the betterment of Southern Oklahoma. Superintendent Powell remarks that winning this quality award is a tremendous honor. The evaluation process will aid us in strengthening our processes because we believe that everything we do can always be improved. With the help of this program, we are identifying continuous improvement opportunities, which will allow us to take even better care of our customers. Please welcome Dr. David Powell, Superintendent.
Well, as a leader of an organization in pursuit of continuous improvement, this award is very exciting to receive. What's also exciting is to see the contagious effort that's going on through our staff, represented at table 15, with your eyes. The people at table 15 are the people who worked diligently on the application for 2014. There were others before them, and there'll be others after them. And by contagious, what I mean is we have 80 employees, and more than half of them are very excited and seeing the results that are happening from the data-driven decisions that we make through this whole process. We have people asking, when can I be an examiner, you know, and they know not what they ask. I did the examiner day myself last year, and it's not a picnic. And I also want to thank those that stood up earlier who are examiners. So appreciate the effort that you do, and I appreciate your employers who allow you to do that. The award I'm about to accept from the governor is made of quality materials, I'm sure, some of the highest plexiglass known to man. But I'm very appreciative of it, and it will go in a place of honor. But what this is really about is the solid gold feedback report that we get through this process. We devour it and very much appreciate all the work that goes into it. So thank you very much.
Quick point of clarification, the awards are actually made from crystal, from NTN recognition. Make sure we get that right. Crystal, plexiglass, I didn't want to let that one go. Our next award recipient is Tri-County Technology Center. I guess tech has it going on in Oklahoma. Receiving the Quality Award for Leadership and Excellence, the highest level state quality award. Tri-County will also receive the Best Practices Award for visionary leadership and strategic planning processes. The school received the Quality Award for Commitment in 2006 and the Quality Award for Achievement in 2013. Tri-County is part of the Oklahoma Center and Technical Education System and was created in 1967. The center provides 4 main educational programs and services: full-time programs, customized business and industry training, short-term courses, and conference meeting services. The distinctive characteristics of TCTC's culture can be summed up in 4 words: the Tri-County way, which is who we are, what we do, and how we do it. Tri-County is student-focused, they invest in their community, and they believe in leadership by all and strive to be a great place to work. Their strategic direction focuses on instructional and learning excellence, economic and community development, fiscal and operational effectiveness, and employee development and well-being. Continuous improvement and learning is a cornerstone standard at Tri-County. The Best Practices Awards are given to Tri-County and reflect the visionary leadership of the organization as well as their strategic planning processes. In an effort to improve their efficiency, Tri-County no longer accepts federal funds. The only school in Oklahoma that does not accept federal funding. Aside from a handful of students who benefit from veterans assistance, their programs and services are completely void of the regulations and bureaucracy that often accompany federal dollars. As a result of this endeavor, they are able to provide more flexible and affordable programs to their students. Leadership operates the school as a business and has remained focused to bring innovative strategies to its community. Superintendent Lyndall Fields believes in the awards process and the benefits derived from the program and remarks, our partnership with the Oklahoma Quality Foundation and our commitment to the Baldrige criteria have been game changers. We are dedicated to our vision to inspire success through life-changing learning experiences. Our quality has helped us refine how we deliver on that promise to our customers, the students who entrust their hopes and dreams in Tri-County. Earning this prestigious award is certainly one of the finest moments we've had in our rich 47-year history. This momentous achievement is a testament to all of the Tri-County educators who give of themselves to help our students earn the education they need and deserve. Please help me welcome Lyndall Fields, Superintendent of Tri-County Tech.
Well, good afternoon. Governor, thank you for being here today. It just makes this occasion and this award that much more special. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Oklahoma Quality Foundation Board of Directors, Director Griswold, and most importantly, the examiners who spent dozens of hours at our site and your sites helping us all be better. Tri-County began its journey 9 years ago. We had a desire then, as we do today, to be better. We were good, but we really didn't know who we wanted to be when we grew up. We were having good years, we were helping students, but those good years were simply stacking on top of good years, not leading to any really vision. So we sought out a formula, a method to help us be better. And it was the OQF, the Baldrige criteria. So after much research, attending the national conference, we decided to jump in head first. So in 2006, we wrote our first application and we were honored with the Commitment Award. It was a joyous day at Tri-County. We were so proud of that application. In fact, I thought it was good enough for the Excellence Award back then. Little did I know, 2006. So fast forward 6 years, we continued to implement the processes, worked hard, engaged our staff, really figured out who we wanted to be when we grew up. We had a vision that we could all be a part of. We bought into it. We knew what the mountaintop looked like, and we knew how to get there. So last year, 6 years later, we wrote our second application, and we were honored with the Achievement Award. Again, a great day at Tri-County. Then when we look back on that 2006 application, it was kind of painful. We'd come so far, and it was really pitiful to look back on that because we had come so far. And isn't that what it's really all about? Continually improving and getting better year after year slowly. So here we are this year. We wrote our third application, and we're being honored today with the top award, a dream of ours, certainly. And we're so proud of our application. In fact, we think it's a bestseller. So when we look back on that 2006 application, it's like reading Dick and Jane. This year's like 50 Shades of Grey. And I have not read the book. I just heard. I just heard. So ladies and gentlemen, we're just honored to be here today. But you know, with any great endeavor, anything momentous that you try to accomplish in your organization, it certainly takes a great group of people, dedicated staff, dedicated to something bigger than themselves. And at Tri-County, I think we have that. We're changing lives each and every day. But you have to have a spark. You have to have a leader, and you have to have passion. And that spark for us, ladies and gentlemen, is our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Tammy Strobel. Thank you for that. And I would be remiss if I didn't introduce her comrade, her partner in crime, who can do the most amazing things with spreadsheets and graphs you've ever seen. So, Director of Tri-County University, Jason Godfrey. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just close by saying thank you. It's certainly been an honor to be a part of this prestigious program, and we just want to say thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Our final recipient is also a previous award recipient, receiving the Equality Award for Achievement in 2012. Integris Baptist in Southwest Oklahoma City locations received the Quality Award for Commitment in 2001, and Integris Bass and Enid received the Quality Award for Commitment in 2000. So again, we're happy to see them demonstrate their commitment to excellence and continue their journey. Please join me in congratulating Integris Health in receiving the Oklahoma Quality Award for Leadership and Excellence, our highest level award. Integris will also receive Best Practices Awards for Lean Deployment, Culture of Continuous Improvement, and Leadership, Commitment, and Effectiveness. And on this stage with me is CEO Bruce Lawrence of Integris Health. Integris Health was formed in 1995 as the result of a merger between Oklahoma Health System and Southwest Medical Center in Oklahoma City. It is Oklahoma's largest locally owned healthcare corporation, delivering services through hospitals, ambulatory care, physician clinics, mental health services, e-health, and a clinically integrated network. Integris provides patients with the most challenging healing, operating 8 acute care hospitals across the state with services ranging from primary care to highly specialized medical care and surgical care. Approximately 6 of every 10 Oklahomans live within 30 miles of an Integris facility or physician. The system is also one of Oklahoma's largest employers and is the state's largest healthcare employer with a workforce of over 9,000 employees and 1,400 physicians statewide. The system is patient and workforce focused and uses lean principles and methodologies to provide the foundation for its performance improvement system. The leadership at Integris has dedicated itself over the past 10+ years to develop a culture of continuous improvement. This is achieved by having senior leadership engage with its workforce and patients, and by the deployment and integration of a data wall management system across the system's network. CEO Bruce Lawrence remarks, "We are honored to be recognized by the Oklahoma Quality Foundation with their highest award, Leadership and Excellence. Integris has long been known for clinical excellence, and the Oklahoma Quality Awards allow us to showcase our quality and performance, a cornerstone in all facets of our organization. This award credits our entire organization and their commitment to exceptional care. We appreciate the opportunity to continually improve our processes as it allows us to achieve our mission to improve the health of the people and the communities we serve." Integris is a well-oiled machine with systems and processes well deployed and integrated throughout the system. Very impressive organization. Bruce, once again, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Aaron, and thank you, Governor, for being here. Please don't ask me to speak behind the Career Tech guys again. They're way too funny. I like that. You know, this has been a journey. You've heard that word several times this afternoon, and it truly is. Quality is not a destination. Excellence is not a destination. That's one of the things that our organization has been focused on for many years, and it's a real honor for me on behalf of our 9,000 colleagues to stand here today and accept this award. We couldn't do it without strong board support either, and I have several of our Integris board members here today, and I thank them for their support and participation in this process, and they were there during our interview process this year. The whole process behind quality and the Oklahoma Quality Foundation is something that our organization has embraced. We have many quality surveyors through the Oklahoma Quality Foundation, and some of those were mentioned earlier today. We also have 2 or 3 Baldrige surveyors, And I can tell you from an organizational standpoint, that has helped us with our focus to be able to have that level of resource in-house. It's been great for us. So why the Baldrige journey? You know, we asked ourselves that question several years ago. We adopted Lean as a methodology for process improvement back in the early 2000s. And we saw the real benefit of that for our organization. So we thought, well, if we take the next step and start applying the Baldrige criteria, will that really help us? And so we didn't really know until we got into that. And I can tell you at this point in time, having that criteria base, having the metrics that involves, has helped us tremendously. You know, as we progressed through the application cycles, what became clear was how much this journey would help us with our strategic intent, and how much it would help us with our alignment around that strategy, and how much more effective we could be with the deployment of our strategy across the entire enterprise. You know, it would be very easy if you're just looking at one site as far as trying to make a Baldrige journey. But when you look at all the many sites that Aaron mentioned, and you look at the 9,000 employees, that made it much, much more difficult. So to get to this level of excellence and leadership award is really, for our organization, a signification that yes, we can. We've got a long ways to go. We're going to learn from the feedback report that we get. And much like others have said, when we look back on those earlier feedback reports, we had a lot to learn and a long ways to go, and we're making progress with that. So today we have a focus on being one Integris, and I will tell you that the Baldrige criteria has helped us do that across the entire enterprise, and we'll continue to stay focused on that, and look forward to going to that next step in the process. And I just want to thank everyone here today, thank the Oklahoma Quality Foundation, and I'd also like to thank my Chief Operating Officer, Chris Hamas, and then Susan Dragoo is our Director of Quality, who's soon going to be retiring. I wish she weren't, because I asked her if she would stay while we do that Baldrige journey, and she said no. But we may call her out of retirement to help us here or there, so thank you all very much.
Thank you, Bruce and Governor, and again, congratulations. One other point of clarification, these Crystal Awards were donated to the Oklahoma Quality Foundation for this event by MTM Recognition, so please help me thank them. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Bill Fournette, founder, president, and CEO of the Persimmon Group. Bill provides business strategy, project management, educational development, and information technology consulting to clients in various industry segments. Over the past 2 decades, Bill has provided leadership for clients in delivery methodology, business process improvement, resource development, project management, business analysis, and training. He has led strategic programs spanning years, staffed by hundreds of people, sourced globally, and managed budgets in excess of $100 million. Bill earned a bachelor's degree from Vanderbilt University and a master's degree from Oklahoma State University. He and his wife Christy have 3 sons and a dog. Bill is an assistant scoutmaster in the Boy Scouts of America, serves as pack chairman for his Cub Scout pack, coaches his son's soccer and basketball teams, and is active in the Tulsa community. He is a member of the Oklahoma Business Roundtable, a member of the Oklahoma State Chamber of Commerce's Board of Directors, and a member of the Oklahoma City and Tulsa Metro Chambers of Commerce. Bill was also recognized as the 2010 Small Business Person of the Year by the Tulsa Metro Chamber of Commerce. Bill is here to talk to us today about leadership and workforce culture. Please join me in welcoming Bill Fournette.
Thank you all. I apologize for my voice. I am not Batman, although I wish I could be. I was on a flight yesterday and got a little bit of a cold, so if you bear with me on my voice, this is not what I normally sound like. To get you all to your classes, I want to hit a few points around culture, because culture is a tough thing. As we heard from the recipients today, you all have made great strides in building a culture that focuses on quality. And how many organizations can really stay there. Not just that they get there, but that they can actually stay there from sustaining that level of culture. So what I wanted to do in preparation for today was think about what we work with and what we see with organizations. What are some things that we can take back to focus to not just develop the new culture, but also to sustain it? So with that, a couple things. Go ahead and hit my slide. Next one. Oops. All right. This is where it gets a little interesting. So the first thing I want to hit is three things. First is purpose, second is principles, and the third is passion. What do we need to be able to have a culture that we can sustain? The hardest part that we see in organizations is that we can affect change. We can bring in a process, bring in tools, bring in measurements. We can bring in quality. But ultimately, it lives and dies on the front lines. You heard that from several of the recipients today. And how do we enable the front lines of our organization, those who are living with it every day, to understand what we're trying to achieve and be, and ultimately to be able to maintain it, not just for now, not just for next year, but 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Every organization has a culture. Some organizations may not like the culture they have. And so some of the ways to be able to achieve it first is what we call leaders' intent. The gentleman just from a moment ago from Integris brought up strategic intent. Leaders' intent is an approach that says, how do I teach or enable my front lines to understand what we're trying to achieve? It was right out of the military, hence the Field Marshal von Moltke. What it meant was you get the best plan, you get the best tools, you get the best processes in place, and change happens. How do we deal with change? And the key with leaders' intent is ultimately it gets to an answer to a question that says, success to me looks like blank. What does success look like? It's a little phrase I use in a lot of organizations, and I found it to be incredibly successful, is to teach your supervisors, your managers, your directors, to use the phrase of success to me looks like blank, and then fill in whatever the blank is. Success to me is not that I'm just on time, or that we just got this done on Friday. Success usually is a much more broad view, and if you can enable your front lines to know that, they're going to make decisions and they're going to use judgment and discretion. Ultimately, that's going to fulfill the culture you're trying to maintain from a quality perspective. So now I'm preaching to the choir on some of this. So I'll give you a couple of examples. How many of you all have IT departments? Everybody, pretty much, right? So IT, you always hear success to me is on time, on budget, in scope. If you change that and you said success to me, I'm the manager, is that for 90 days after we deploy that software, my phone rings only with compliments. Some of you wish for those, right? But think about how that would change the way you look at implementing a piece of software. And the thing that's beautiful about leaders' intent is it describes the end state that we're trying to achieve. And you're enabling the front lines of your entire workforce to understand and participate in what that end state is. Another one, actually FedEx has used, is success is to get all packages to a destination in a safe, damage-free, cost-effective manner within a shipment period by the customer. Now, why is that powerful? That's just a statement. It could be a mission statement. Ultimately, for them, it says, here's the boundaries in which you can make decisions. We're not going to be at every level of that decision. Do not pick up the phone and call the home office if you're in trouble, necessarily, if it's a minor thing. Here's the boundaries and use your judgment. Southwest Airlines has been one of the few organizations that we work with that actually will say their front lines are enabled to make decisions right there with the customer. Now, having flown consistently almost now for the last 2 months, it's nice having a decision made right there at the gate versus having to wait for the phone calls and the hours to find out what's going on. They know their front lines may not always make the decision that somebody in headquarters would agree with, but they don't change their rule or policy or the guidelines of the way they want to be because of that. They may have a title up, but they don't say because of that, now everybody needs to fill out a form, I'm using that one as an example, but to go back to headquarters to say, what do we do? What's every permutation of that answer? And then we're going to make sure we don't need the human in it. You know, the gentleman from Syntax, I can't agree with you more about being a people-oriented, people-centered organization. People make organizations. Processes and tools enable them, support them, but it's about people. And that's what's wonderful about leaders in TIM. So another one that I wanted to bring up is the notion of principled leadership. If you guys can't tell by now, the graphics are not there. But that's okay, the words are present. For principled leadership, the thing about principled leadership that we want to be able to build is, a lot of organizations have core values. You guys have those? Right. Principles takes core values and puts them into action. They go beyond core values, because one of the things that we've seen, especially with everything coming at us in the workforce today, we're global, we're multicultural, we're multi-generational. Certain core value words can be interpreted differently by the people coming in. We see so many times assumptions are made of, well, if you're coming in to work in my organization, I assume you understood what integrity is. I assume you have the same definition, even though there's multiple definitions of what that means. Principals take that and they take an approach and they say, here's how this core value is applied. And in applying it, it gives the person in the organization a better understanding of the rules. One of the most simple principles that most of us know is the golden rule. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. So for a principal, in principled leadership, it's a big thing right now when we see in organizations, because we can go in with processes, we can go in and say, here is exactly how I want you to operate. But principles give them boundaries to make judgments. And some of those principles, there's a couple of things that it does, is not only to give them those boundaries, it allows them to be engaged in the conversation and to have a sense of freedom. You know, one thing I do a lot with multi-generational, and one of the things I see, especially with your younger workers, is none of them want to be told, welcome to your job, this is what you're going to do, it's the same way it's been for 20 years, have fun at it. And the first question they say, why? Why do we do it that way? What can I do? They don't want to be told this, what I call shut up and color. They'll do it occasionally. They do not want to be. You guys know what everyone, you know what I mean? Just shut up and color. That younger workforce wants a sense of freedom. They want a sense of some engagement. They want a sense of also what they would say probably is a feeling at times of respect. Principles do that because they give them a framework for which we can have a conversation. So a couple of things with principles. These are some examples that I've used. It was with my clients that we've had. So one of them, a client started off with a call center. It was actually a state agency. And it was, before taking an action, imagine yourself as a customer. Now that was a really important principle. For organizations, 5 or 6 principles is what you're looking at here. And I share this one because they had this huge aha when they went through it. Governor Fallon was talking about customer-centric service earlier. And from that agency, they felt that they had gotten into a culture where they were just checking the box. They were just answering the phone, answering with whatever the script said, and moving on. They weren't trying to help the customer with that in mind. And they wrestled with this principle. They came back from different angles on it. But they felt for them it was really important to say, I want to imagine myself as the customer. How would I want to be treated at the end of the phone? And in the case then, the rest of the organization started realizing, wait a minute, we also have customers. We have customers inside our own organization. And at that point, that principle became enterprise-wide or organization-wide. So principles are something that we can use to take a core value, but put it into a visual or visceral type of approach that people can hang their hat on. So principles are not something to mess with either, I will say. When we work, and I talk about principles first have to be accessible by anyone in the organization, if you take this approach. The second is you have to be willing to fire people up with them. Principles are words, but they're words without meaning if they're not pursued. And that's what organizations judge by. I mentioned a moment ago the millennials or Gen Ys, they judge you based off of, do you follow through with what you said you're going to do? Do you walk the talk? And that's how we sustain cultures. It's how we reduce the turnover rates that you're seeing out there. And the last one is, it's got to be emotional or visceral. It's got to give them something they can believe. Okay? I mean, does anybody here have principles of which your organization's run by? A lot of times you'll see managers, you'll see coaches that come into sports teams, and they will say, this is how we're going to conduct ourselves. This is not focused on what we do. This is not focused on sales goals. It's not focused on EBITDA, all right, or your return. It's focused on how do we conduct ourselves as an organization. Okay. The last one I hit was passion. Passion's a fun one because passion can be so many different things. But when you think about your organization, do you have a passionate workforce? Do they get up every morning going, I look forward to going to work? Not every morning, every day. Some days it's kind of cold, but in general, do they get up saying, I want to be there? Because don't we all want that? Isn't that the workforce we look for? So I wanted to bring this up because these are some interesting little stats. First is, right now, we have a very high level of disengagement. There's a number of studies over the last couple of years. You got 65 to 75% of the workforce is looking to make a move. They're not happy. Some of them are actively looking. About 35% are actively looking. The average tenure of an employee right now in the United States is 4.5 years. For 20-somethings, it's 2.3 years. So it's a lot of change coming. Mobility is here. There's a lot of things that are going with employee engagement. Passion, I can spend all day talking with you all about, but I want to leave you with a couple of things for you to take back. Feedback weekly, especially the younger the worker, the more feedback they want. They want good and bad. They want to be developed. Give feedback. Talk to your supervisors and managers and work it in on a weekly basis. Understand that when you change something, it requires risk. And when you have risk, you have the potential of failure. But guess what? That's how we all learned, right? The pot is hot. Remember when Mom said that? The pot's hot, try it anyway, it still was hot. Teaching over telling. I love this one because teaching is about asking questions and listening. Not about going, you did it wrong. You should have done it this way. I know how to do it. I've done it for 20 years this way. Everybody knows somebody that's like that. But instead, teaching is about, help me understand, why'd you do it that way? But what about this scenario? And then you place them with what the experience is from your older, more experienced workers. That's how we get knowledge transfer going. But nobody wants to get sat down and told, you did it wrong, this is the way you do it. Just do it this way from this point forward. This is how we get to long-term, sustainable culture that you're desiring, especially when you're dealing with that kind of turnover that I was mentioning earlier. The boundaries. The boundaries are around things like the principles. What should you or shouldn't do? We've seen this a lot right now where we've become a very targeted, goal-targeted workforce where we know what the performance measure is going to be. It's going to drive our bonus, or it's going to drive our promotion, or it's going to drive more opportunity for us, and we'll go after it. But back to the principles, we may not do it in a way that supports the company or the organization we stand for. We're seeing this a lot right now because we've been moving so fast. So by discussing the boundaries and saying where do we see a principle enacted well, or where do we see it not pursued well, is something we can work through. And then lastly was talk it, walk it, and live it. So to kind of sum it up, I'm from Tulsa. Just now. We got 3 boys up there. It was mentioned about scouts. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine that to me exemplifies how you create a sustainable culture. His name is Bill Schaefer. Oh, the graphics not up. That's all right. I hit it. So Bill Schaefer is the scoutmaster of Troop 26 in Tulsa. Anybody from Tulsa? Anybody have no Troop 26? I want to give you a little story about Bill then. What Bill Schaefer's been is a scoutmaster who's dedicated. My 3 boys are in there. I'm a scoutmaster, or assistant scoutmaster myself. His principles by which he's consistently lived by, and that the troop is lived by, is the scout oath and the scout law. Any fellow scouts? All right, so a lot. We know that. That scout oath are principles that we take that give us a sense of what it is how we're supposed to act and behave. They're boundaries by which we can measure ourselves, a bar. The law really sums up what it is what we're trying to do. That's his principles, as I mentioned earlier. His intent is about teaching leadership to scouts. Over the years, these are the graphics that you're not getting to see. We've gone to all kinds of places all over the world. Our troop is a pretty good sized troop, so I want to bring you to see. Beautiful graphics. So there, for some reason, the projector doesn't like it. Hey, I got one. There you go. We're boy led. Boy led means really the boys do lead this troop. There's a lot of scout units, some are boy-led, some are not. Boy-led means they're going to make mistakes. That's not normal. We had a parent one time that came up and said, the boy leader's not making the best decision. Unless it's a safety issue or it's running something counter to the scout law, we're not going to step in. So what are some of the results? This is just recently. And I want to show you, because this is how I come back to sustainable culture. Bill started in 1969 as Scoutmaster of Troop 26. It means he's been Scoutmaster for 45 years, consistently the entire time. We have 175 active Scouts right now. Over the years, we're at a total of over 3,000 Scouts. Some of those Scouts are generals in the military. So one of them is the project manager for the gathering place in Tulsa. You all have heard about that at the river. We have Scouts that have gone on and worked in the State Department. We have Scouts that have given back to the community and are constantly there. We have one Scout who was one of Bill's first Scouts whose grandsons are about to come into the troop. Third generation. I say all that because that's a 45-year culture that's been built. Now, do you think it's changed much over those 45 years? Absolutely it has. Times have changed. But he based it on the same oath and law that were there when he started. His tactics changed, but his engagements the same. We have 88 men right now that are active in the troop. And, to that point, the National Eagle Average, this is where the results come in. National Eagle Average is 1% to 2% of all Scouts who come through the program at Eagle. In 26, it's 20%. It's not a check the box. It is not, let's sit down and figure out how we get you to an Eagle as fast as possible.